What's going on, gamers? Welcome back in to another Friday night Turboblaze trial presented by your boys over here at Turboblaze in connection with our team over at Collectors Connection. As always, big shout out to those guys. You can check out their website at collectorsconnectionduluth.com, or if you're in the Duluth, Minnesota area, definitely make them your home for all your TCG card sport needs. It is just me tonight, solo on the desk, but I am really excited to bring you guys all the action from our first Chaos Rising legal tournament. We decided to go ahead and allow the Chaos Rising cards into the pool, even though the 3K is taking place in a couple of days. So this will be our first look at the Chaos Rising cards, and I know that I'm very excited to see what comes out of this. It's a little small pairing tonight, a smaller pool. We do have Spence and Ghouls actually paired in round one, so that's probably where we'll go ahead and head out. I know Ghouls is playing a spicy list. I know Spence last minute picked a list to kind of maybe put a wrench in Ghouls' badge plan for tonight, but we will see how that pans out. We'll get out to table one. I'll get you guys set up, and then we will chat a little bit more. Let's see. 1 second here, guys. All right. Let's get it switched over to this side. We will get Ghouls and Spence set up here. We can turn Spence around. All right, and we just got to get Ghouls set up here. All right, perfect. And we just need to get Ghouls turned around. Good deal. All right. So we got Ghouls on the left, Spencer on the right. Ghouls is playing one of our brews that we have been working on that has not quite made the showroom floor yet. We've kind of decided to rip the Band-Aid off and go ahead and start playing it in some public spheres so we can get some data on it. So Ghouls is on our Kyogre list, our Amazing Rare Kyogre list. So I will be excited to see how this game pans out for him. Spence, however, is on, I think, Roll Tide is what he decided to go with last minute. So we'll be getting some head slips from Spencer's side. We've got Lee and company's deck there for Spence. And then we've also got Ghoulies with our, like I said, kind of our new brew, a Kyogre list that we've been working on for a couple of months now. Alright, let me get our guys' names fixed. You guys enjoy the gameplay while I get everything set up on the back end here. Alright, we got Ghouls. And Spence. And both of our players are on water. Water. Alright, so it looks like Spence is going first in the matchup. We do see a Sobble start for Spencer. See if he can get a board established. See a dive ball played there, so probably would have liked to have saved that, but may not have any other outs to basic Pokemon search. So just have to kind of rip the Band-Aid off and play the cards that you have access to. Now, Ghouls has a very strong support Pokemon lineup in his deck, so he will also be looking to fill up his board on this first turn of the game as well. See what Spency likes to go for off of this dive ball. sure that everything is okay. Good deal. Looks like we are live and all is good there. Need just a second, guys. I'm going to post the stream to our Discord. Right. Announcements. We are live with all new Chaos Rising cards. All right, chat. There we go. Now, it is just back to us. All right, so Spence was able to establish, looks like, the Remoraid on the bench there. And we do see Ghoul starting us off with a Gladian from his side. So neither player really establishing like an incredible board state from here. You're going to see just a attached to Sobble. This is going to be a pass. The Galar Mine is in play, so that Sobble is going to have 3 retreat costs, I do believe. Increases all Pokemon's retreat by 2 additional. So Ghouls is just going to swing in here with Sobble for 10 damage on the Spencer side. And notably, with Spencer's board being the way that it is, and Ghouls having some knowledge of the list that Spencer's playing, he's going to be able to probably ward off a Donk here. I mean, I don't think that Spence has any way to just turbo out an attacker that can do even 70 damage with the Roll Tide list. It is a predominantly control strategy, and we do see the Octillery evolved into there, so that's the reason for the Dive Ball search. We're going to capture energy onto Sobble, so probably going to search out the Magikarp or the Wiglet in this situation, whichever is available to him. I know that the predominant line is to go Magikarp. Yep, and there we go. We're going to see Magikarp so that the Gyarados can start getting established and wreaking havoc over the course of this game. And I will get you guys some card images on screen as they become relevant. But for the early game, I'm just going to kind of chill, hang out, watch the plays. We'll see if anything jumps out at us. So you do see Magikarp down, and a Blower is going to remove this Galar Mine. So Spence may have access to... Let's see. Nope, just played it thin. So then Wiglet off the top. And then an early Belelba and Bryson Man. Going to mill 3 cards from each player's deck. We see... Alright. Inteleon and Milotic from Ghoul's side. Neither of those cards are going to be helping him anytime soon unless there's a rare candy looming in the hand or something to that extent. Let's see. We're going to see Ghouls go ahead and attach that second water energy, and this is a real kind of stinker of a situation. We do have an establishment now of the Drizzile, So now the board can maybe start to get built up. The like Poffins or something to that extent. Let's see what Ghouls elects to go with. Actually, it's going to be a Rescue Stretcher angle so that he can guarantee that Inteleon next turn, possibly. Again, this is going to be a slow burn in terms of Spence's side of the board and taking knockouts. As long as Ghouls doesn't initiate total swinging in this matchup, he should be okay to just take his time. And there's the Rescue Stretcher played for the Inteleon. Knows his hand's pretty safe, is my guess, but judging on how Spencer had played the last turn. We are just going to see another swing in for 30 more damage onto the Sobble. So now action over on the Spencer's side. Do we see... Looks like we're just going to try to play some cards down, thin out. Spencer's probably checking to see if there is maybe a Field Blower could be the card that he's checking to see if it's in Ghoul's list. Not sure exactly. But was looking at putting a U-turn board down on the Wiglet initially. Let's see if that's what he decides to do. And we're just going to go U-turn board onto the Sobble and draw forward 4 cards from the Abyssal. Buddy Poffin is going to continue to establish any of the little guys that Spence wants to be able to get into play here. Let's see. We are going to see Manaphy come down. So it's going to be a Lowland Vulpix for the Beacon attack. Probably going to set Spence up with a Drizzile and a Gyarados, if I had to guess, for next turn. Would be the angle that he's looking at getting into here. We do see the retreat paid over into that Vulpix, and now Vulpix is going to get in with its Beacon attack. We'll see what Spence elects to take. Like I said, my guess would be probably a Gyarados and a Drizzile, something to that extent. But Lowland Vulpix, incredible at just getting these Pokemon out. And there we go, we do see the Vulpix and the Gyarados. So now, Ghouls has access to 2 trainer cards off of this Inteleon. No prizes have been taken, so it's going to be just a determining of what cards need to be accessed here. We do see Pokepad and Palpat also Versus Seeker and Palpad selected off of the Inteleon. So let's see what Ghouls has in mind here. Guzma to bring up the Gyarados. I'm going to go ahead and swing into it. Yep, and then... Oh, it just brings up the Magikarp. Sorry, Magikarp before it has a chance to evolve into the Gyarados. So Guzma is going to bring up that. And then Ghouls basically has Versus Seeker loaded to continue the onslaught. He's just keeping his board really low, playing this very methodical and not benching or committing is what it looks like is actually happening. More that I'm watching this game play out. That's something that you do want to be mindful of against most mill strategies. I mean, most mill decks do have a wall breaker, and that Gyarados is a wall breaker, but it needs like the reversal energy on it or additional energy to be able to swing its second attack. So Spence does get to keep the Drizzile, and Drizzile will reestablish probably the Magikarp if I had to guess, but the problem is that Ghouls just has Versus Seeker reloaded for next turn. So if Spence develops... Spence needs to develop multiple threats here. We need to see both the Wiglet and the Magikarp get reestablished. It's a pretty tough spot, though. So we are going to see Irida plucked off of the Drizzile. We're going to get our Wug Trio out, and as well as probably like I said, it probably needs to be a recovery card. Stretchers. Super Rod. Super Rod will put it back. And then we'll be able to go search it out a different way. Not a bad use of the resource there. Now, notably, could be playing the Big Catch Net, the newest card from Chaos Rising. Don't know if they have those images uploaded to PKM cards yet. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's see. I don't believe so. Nope. Alright, so a little bit unfortunate, but I don't have access to the new cards on PKM cards quite yet, but I'll have everything else going here. So Wug Trio is going to be able to swing here. And this is one of the premier attackers in the deck. The backbone of the strategy. So Wug Trio's Underseas Tunnel. Spence is going to flip coins. Flip 3 of them. And for each heads, it is the effect of a Belelba and Bryson man. He will discard the top 3 cards of Ghoul's deck for each heads that he hits. Glenwood Tangle is going to allow him to reflip cards as well. So I don't know exactly how many we saw milled off. I was pulling up the card notably, so it's my bad, guys. But Spence was able to probably hit some number of heads there, I would think, or else I would be seeing him flip still from the Glenwood Tangle. Maybe we haven't seen him commit yet. Nope, action is on Ghouls for sure. Alright, and we're going to get Flash of an Irida there. See if he decides to play it. Yep, okay. So we will get an Irida play here from Ghoulies for a rare candy and probably the Mudkip. Yep, so this will be a fine draw engine / attacker also in this matchup. Could be the Power Draw Swampert. We'll get that guy pulled up for you guys. Ghouls will be looking to set this up as his draw engine, it looks like, based on the way that he is playing here. Like I said, it would be both a good engine and as well as attacker into the deck from Spence's side. As Ghoulies is able to take another prize with this Inteleon, continuing to deal with Spence's mill Pokemon. And now Spence is going to have to take a turn to reestablish. He can swing with an Inteleon of his own this turn, but it is going to be short of the knockout. And we know that Ghouls still has that Burst of Seeker in hand. He did not play it last turn, so Guzma is still right at the front of Ghoul's mind if Spence does decide to not present a mill Pokemon, which is probably what's going to happen here. And Spence did not get those early hits in on the Sobble like Ghouls was able to do, so now his Inteleon would not even KO back. It's a rough spot to be in early on. We do see the water energy committed. That tells me that there probably is an out to Inteleon in this hand. I don't know why you would commit it if not. Escape rope. Okay, So escape rope can be played as essentially a switch card in this instance. We're going to go back up into... Ghoul's gesturing that he moves his to the bench. Spence also has counter catcher. That's funny. Yeah, so which is going to be another beacon turn from Spence off the back of Culver's Tenacity play here. Tenacity going to go ahead and search out the Wash Energy. Now, notably, Energy has already been attached for turn to the Drizzile, so can't get that down this turn. May be able to fish out a basic Pokemon off of the Brooklet Hill. It's probably going to be the Magikarp again. Yep, there we go. We see that. Again, the problem is that Ghouls can just hunt this thing down without establishing both the Magikarp and the Wiglet again. Yep, this is just going to be probably a versus Seeker Guzma. We're going to see here. And again, no damage being done to this Inteleon means that we're that much further away from dealing with it. See if we will see that play committed here. Oh, here we go. Versus Seeker being played. And we're going to go for that Guzma. We're going to continue to chase. Let's see what the choice is this time. I think I still like the just running him into his draw Pokemon. Or into his millers. Yeah. I think I like this because the predominant strategy here is to try to mill. There's not going to be a wishy-washy that just springs up out of nowhere, catches you off guard. This is pretty straightforward in terms of its strategy. And Ghouls, you see the cards in Spence's hand to be disrupted, the counter catchers and the escape ropes. Ghouls just saying, none of that. I will have no Pokemon in play other than this Inteleon. No liabilities or threats that I cannot move. We'll see if he commits to the Mudkip here at some point, though. He did just Night Stretcher for an energy back, so in an instance where it does get Gust, you would just be able to retreat it. I do believe the Mudkip has a single retreat cost. I could be wrong. It could be a 2 retreater. I'll check that out real quick for you guys. Yeah, no, just a 1 single retreat cost on the Mudkip. So if he does decide to bench it, I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're just going to see some healthy, another swing in. Yep. Brooklet Hill, rather. Will he take anything off of it will be the question. Deck is still pretty thick. Alright, we're going to go ahead and see a Snom. So Ghouls is going to go ahead and commit to a bench lineup here. If you bench the Snom, I don't see why you wouldn't go ahead and bench the Mudkip, but he could be aware of something that I'm not. Yep, and there we go. See the Mudkip come down. When the Night Stretcher having gotten your energy back, both of those Pokemon are safe to retreat in a pinch. I don't think that I would hastily, worry about throwing an energy on like the Snom or anything for a pivot. If you have access to one in hand, going ahead and getting one on the Mudkip is not the worst thing. Alright. And we will see that knockout being taken from Ghouls, inching him closer to six prizes being taken. 3 currently down for Ghoulies' side. And a board now being established. There we go. Alright, now, we do see Inteleon come down, and we know that Spence has Countercatcher in hand. So Spence could elect to Countercatcher up one of these Pokemon and take a knockout. The problem with that, I mean, again, is we're not touching this Inteleon if we do that. And it is threat number 1. This Inteleon right now is in a position where it could literally just sweep this game from how it's played out so far. Alright, and we are going to get a Surge play from Spence here. So Surge is going to allow Spence to play 3 supporters this turn, including Lieutenant Surge. Surge's strategy. An awesome card for most control decks in the Gym Leader Challenge format. So Nessa will allow Spence to reestablish multiple Pokemon as well. But now we don't have the bench space for it because we've got a Phoebus in play. So it is not going to be a... Okay, so this is interesting. This is not... It's not going to be a Surge play then. Spence elected to not play the Surge this turn. He just played Guzma, from what I can tell. I may have missed it, but I don't think that I saw. Maybe he did. His camera's being a little jittery, so... So Guzma and Nessa are the 2 supporters played. And because of the scoop up net, Spence does free up the bench spot to get both of his Millers back down into play, which is crucial here. So he's able to bring up the Snom in this essence, and he is able to reestablish his board state. Snom will allow Ghouls to accelerate energy into play, so maybe Spence says if I'm going to take a knockout, I want it to be on something that is a little bit more impactful long run. But again, I mean, Ghouls is going to be quite content. Yeah, I was going to say, don't play the counter catcher. There's no reason to play the counter catcher if you weren't going to play it previously. I don't think. Alright, so Spence does get into the game there with a knockout, but the Inteleon is still hovering at a spot where I don't know that it can be easily knocked out. Notably, I need to pull up the Gyarados so that we have access to its second attack. Yeah, second attack, 2 water, 2 colorless, 230. Discards the top 5 of your own deck. So Spencer is just a reversal energy away from that stipulation. I think the reversal energy is currently in the discard pile, though, from where the Wug Trio had swung earlier. And for everybody watching this tomorrow, thank you guys for helping us to eclipse our 500 sub goal on the channel. Big support, big shout out to all of your support that has been going on over the last 6 months. It's been really a dream for us to be able to bring you guys some of the content, some of the insight behind our minds in the GLC space. So thank you guys for being so loving and supportive of everything that we've been doing over here at Team Turboblaze. We will see Ghoulies hit the Ultra Ball here. We do know that the rare candy's in hand. Probably going to see a Swampert come off here. This Ghouls was able to reestablish his Snom immediately. Nope, just going to go for the Phoebus, play a little bit slower. Swampert's already in hand, so there's the rare candy play into the Swampert. So now Ghouls will have the access to Power Draw, be able to discard a card and draw 3 cards a turn. You are going to see Evolution Incense come out for the Melodic. So Ghouls is just being able to guarantee that into hand here, be my guess. Don't know if he has a recovery card essentially or access to anything of that sort. We did see the supporter play for turn for Ghouls was Brock's Grit. I've not been able to get much into how this deck works specifically because of the oddity of the matchup. But if I have Ghouls on later, I'll definitely be able to walk you guys through this game plan a little bit better that you would be looking to see from this deck. As the normal strategy, I promise, is not to just stick an Inteleon in the active and survive 4 knockouts. But when in Rome. So Spence did keep the Millers alive. But now we are going to see... Yeah, this is just a rough spot. Unless Spence disrupts the hand, Ghouls has Melodic loaded for whatever he wants. Guzma again, or the just another way to move. Any card. We are going to see Lucamine be the supporter played for turn from Spence, so there will not be hand disruption, I do not believe. And unfortunately for Spence, I just don't think this is going to stick. Now, you don't necessarily care because your Gyarados will survive a Inteleon hit. I think that it's probably going to be in range of Swampert at some point, but Swampert will need much more energy, I believe, than what it currently has on it. You'll need an extra one. No, it would actually need 6 energy on the Swampert to one-hit the Gyarados. But in conjunction with an Inteleon attack, it's not the worst thing in the world. Oh, goodness. Okay. So triple attached. Splash was down last turn. Okay. So Wug Trio again will roll 3 coins, and for each heads will be a discard of 3 from the top of Ghoul's deck. And Lux Cape onto Gyarados. Try to keep it alive, sustaining longer throughout the game. Yeah, Ghouls has just played this wonderfully in the way to how to deal with a mill strategy. Play as few cards as you have to play to take knockouts. And especially when you know that the sequence of events that it went down with the reversal energy going down early. There's Glenwood Tangle, so we're going to get another flip. We do get 2 heads, so that is a 6-card mill. 4, 5, and 6. A couple of water energies. Level ball, ball guy. But Ghouls protected his Melodic there, which is most important for this situation. Because Snom is just one energy card away from moving. Spence's Melodic is now committed. So I don't think that we saw that get back a Gust card preemptively. Let's see, this is very interesting. Ghoulies has blitzed this to 4 prizes, but Spence is starting to build a board that may just be able to live up. If Ghouls can take a knockout this turn without having to use the Guzma, though, it would just free him up for next turn, a Guzma knockout for game. So if he doesn't have to use the Melodic here, it would be best case scenario. I mean, even just an attach retreat here would be great if you're Ghouls. Let's see. There are 4 energy committed, though, so quite a bit down. Gladian's going to be played for turn. And it's a quick decision. Let's see. Okay, so Brooklet's just going to remove the Glimwood. And then there is a perfect attach to retreat. Would be that recycle energy. It would come back to Ghouls' hand on retreat. I don't know about this play. Unless we have Devo Spray in hand or something to that extent. Devo Spray, Scoop Up Net. I just would love being able to keep that around for the Guzma next turn. You could even possibly put the Guzma to hand, but just a little bit more for... Yeah, I just don't... Unless he thinks that there's a chance that he gets milled out this turn. I don't know exactly how many cards are in the deck. Spence is sitting on a... Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to refill the deck here as much as possible. So... It's not the worst thing, but I would have really liked to have saw that potentially be left. Ghouls just has so many ways to refill this deck, though. As long as energy cards flow into the discard pile. Okay, cool. So there's the Diva Spray. I might have liked leaving the Guzma in the discard pile. It may have been like a very key number, though, for Ghouls that he was looking at dodging. But regardless, he is able to go ahead and take his 5th prize with Inteleon. And now Spence has got to do something. We do know that he's sitting on a Surge play. I don't know exactly what all that will entail. I'm going to ask him to go through his resources for him. We are going to see the Surge played down. So we will get, again, 3 supporters this turn for Spence in total. So Surge into Lilies is going to be the start here. We will see only 6 cards off this Lilies because a knockout has been taken. And Gladian be the next supporter played for turn. will free up their recycle energy. So that is a big piece of the mill puzzle for the long run of the game. I mean, usually you would love that to be the first thing on the Gyarados, to be swinging early, but better late than never. And here we go. We are just going to see some Gyarados swinging in with Wreak Havoc. Go ahead and give you guys a look at this card. It is the second primary piece to the Watermill deck. Roll Tide. Big mill there, but it was not quite enough, it doesn't look like. And now, as long as Ghouls has access to... Yep, there we go. So, Guzma was milled off of that. It's just as easy as evolving into Melodic and swinging in for game. Big GG's to Ghouls and Spence. Great first game in the new format for these guys. And we will look forward to seeing more from Ghouls throughout the night. Don't know exactly what Spency will do from here. May play out, may continue to run the event. I know that Spence does a lot of the back end work for us on most of our tournaments, so big thank you to him. And we will come over and look at the standings together, chat. Let's see if we can figure out who is doing what for this week. Let's see. Alright, let's see if we can get our limitless to be a little bit more in line with what we need to see. Alright, so like I said, a little bit smaller turnout, but is to be expected with most of the people from the GLC community in space traveling to Akron, Ohio this weekend for the 3K. So, congratulations. Good luck to all the players who are going to be taking part in that event on Sunday. I know that we will be cheering our guys Lee Hoffman and SBO on. Chucky will be in the booth with Alex Carpenter from Full Grip Games, and they will be commentating the whole event as Andrew Mahone himself is going to have his first chance to play in one of these. I believe this is the first ever. They have streamed all of the 1Ks, even the 1Ks going back to, the first couple of years of the format. And then they built the new event hall and took a hiatus from doing those. And then since coming back, they've been the big 3Ks that we know and love and have been trying to attend as much of as we can. Now that leads me to one other shameless little plug while we're in between rounds here. We're about to hit the end of the first round. With the 500 subscription, or with the 500 subs on YouTube, we were able to turn on a couple of tools for us, the team. And so I do just want to let you guys know what is available now from the guys over here at Turboblaze. So we have memberships live on the channel now for, a couple bucks a month. You can get access to our content early. There's a tier where you can schedule, one-on-one gaming sessions with us. If you want to schedule, say a couple of hours to test hardcore where you don't want your deck out in the public or anything like that, then you can test with one of us if you would like to do that. That's on one of the tiers. And then also we enabled supers. So if you guys see the little, dollar sign there by the chat button, you can now click that button and you can donate to the team directly. We'll get that from YouTube. And as always, all the proceeds that you guys do give to us go straight into our team, and being able to attend these 3Ks, being able to make the content that we make for you all. It's a big part of it. Is just all these things cost a lot. We are all a bunch of dads playing cards for a hobby, and we like to think that we're pretty good at what we do. So we definitely want to be able to keep up what we are able to do in continuing to go to these events. So thank you guys for any support that you choose to engage with us. And, even if you just hang out at the streams, like the streams, promote them, then, big thank you to you as well. We are, very thankful for all the support and love over here on the channel. So we've got Evan, Wiki, and Kyle on table 2, and I think that is what we will do for round number 2. Get a look at a different Blazer other than that first, other than Ghouls' deck. We may have had to have a repair. Let's just make sure that everything is okay. I think people are moving around. Yeah, here we go. All right. So I will come over here. We'll get to these guys here. In chat, we will come back to the tables. All right. Let's see what we've got. Kyle is on water and Evan is on psychic. Evan is on a Deoxys brew that he has been personally working on a lot since the Deoxys was revealed. So definitely looking forward to seeing this. Now Evan has been in a big move in his life as well. He's been getting a new place, so big ups to him, but I know he has not had as much time as he would have liked to have been testing for this cycle. So I'm excited to see what he has decided to bring out tonight. And Evan and I both are planning on attending the next 3K in July. So that middle of month, July. If you guys haven't already made plans, definitely do so to see the team. If you are going to go ahead and come to the 3K tournament, come hang out, come see us, make your face known. We would love to see you guys and chat in person. That is one of my favorite parts of the 3Ks, is just literally meeting everyone from the community, putting faces to names that I'm so common in seeing, and just having a great time, really, more than anything. Standout community here from the Gym Leader Challenge space. Let's get Evan's camera adjusted just a bit here. He does have it nice and pushed up right to the edge. We should be okay there. So Evan is playing a Deoxys deck that has some nifty technology in it. I do know that it is playing the Slow King from, let's see what this guy is from. The Slow King from Stellar Crown. Seek Inspiration, Slow King. So it discards the top card of your deck, and if the card is a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, you can use one of its attacks as this attack. You do not have to have the extra energy in play, or you do not have to have the actual amount of energy in play to perform the attack. So the Pokemon this will be looking to be copying is the new Deoxys from Chaos Rising. So the way that this Slowking works, essentially based on the way that the Deoxys attack reads, is you would need 2 additional energy in order to swing for the additional 120 damage. So you would need a total of 4 on the Slowking, or 2 with an energy double Gardevoir. Not sure if that's in Ebby's list. Let's take a look real quick. He is playing the Gardevoir from Next Destinies. He is also playing the Gallade. So it's a split evolution on the Kirlia line. So be interested to see what he decides to do with that as well. We do see Hisuian Heavy Ball being played from Ebby. After Kyle establishes a pretty good board setup on his side. Looks like we got a Vanillish in the active. What is this thing? Let's pull Kyle's deck list up here as well. Oh yeah, ends Vanillite. So Kyle is on an interesting brew as well. It's like a spread list, a water spread list it looks like. Got Frostlass to be able to spread damage counters onto the ability Pokemon, Alolan Vulpix, Tortuga to be able to swing big damage for the number of item cards in Evan's discard pile. So this is also a pretty interesting build. Both of our players bringing cool sauce to the house tonight. Great Hall Net. So that is the card in Kyle's list that is new from the format. So we do have the Great Hall Net. Here from Kyle in his list. Cool include. Evan is going to get his board started with a Guzman Hala. Guzman Hala is going to fetch out for Psychic some of the most powerful cards in the format. We've got Floatstone, we've got Artisan, we've got Telepath Energy. Artisan's going to search out that Deoxys. It's going to get the Telepath Energy slammed onto it immediately, and we are going to start charging this thing the good old-fashioned way with a Smoochum coming out from the Telepath Energy, as well as the Ralts, to be able to go ahead and establish this support line. We've got a Natu as well, and after what looked like a pretty slow turn 1, Evan is just going to explode 3 energy into play this turn and be threatening Deoxys immediately on Kyle's side of the board. Notably, Kyle is not playing a Manaphy. So no Manaphy to be found from the water side in a Deoxys meta. Pretty scary place to be, if you ask me. Alright, and we are going to see Kyle get the quick ball off for the Snom. And a level ball establishes his draw engine with the Octillery. We all know and love the Octillery with its Abyssal Hand. We're going to get to fill our hand to 5 cards each turn, once per turn. Counter energy goes on to the Ice Cream Cone. And we got to shuffle up here, presumably for a draw from this Octillery. Kyle's deck It's not a lot of heavy hitters. It's definitely a spread list that we're looking at here. So that Frostmoth will not be Ice Dance Frostmoth. Let's see. That's the Sobble that he also gets down there alongside of his Snom. So Kyle is developing a nice board as well here. And a Lily's is going to see him 8 fresh new cards. Let's see what he finds himself into here off of these 8. Alright, and Kyle will also Artisan out his Snow Runt. So he has went ahead and gone wide here. Now the onus is going to be on Evan to see if he can power up Deoxys this turn. That would be an incredible sight to see if you were Evan's side. We are going to see a slow evolve through a Curlia here, though. So it's not going to be a rare candy Gardevoir here, which is okay. It's not the worst thing that could be happening. We just would like to see Evan accelerate those extra energies now. We do see off the Artisan the Slowpoke come into play. Will be the way that he evolves this Slowking up, is through the Generation Slowpoke. He chooses to play. Alright. And then Evan's going to treasure away a Night Stretcher. Let's see if he has access to multiple energies here. Xatu will allow him to accelerate the additional energy that he needs to be able to pull off the secondary effect of Deoxys. But does he have 2 energy cards to be able to fire off? There's only 5 basic Psychics in the list. So 2 are already accounted for. And Marnie, with a 1-card hand, Evan's just going to see if he can see himself into a pair of energies here. A trade going to come off, so we'll see an additional 2. I'm guessing that we don't have access to 1 currently, or else you'd just be accelerating it. Here comes the Sense. We need to see 1 more from Evan. His hand has gotten massive right off of the back of a Marnie. That's how Psychic can be. Parallel City is going to be devastating, especially if there's another energy card in Evan's hand and he's slow played that. That is the correct way to play it. And there we go. That's exactly how you want to do it. So now Evan is just going to literally remove all but 2 Pokemon from Kyle's board, taking the first 2 prizes of the game with that swing. Massive Deoxys play there. Just leaves your opponents. Look at this. Look at this board. Kyle had a fully developed board last turn. Now there is a skeleton board remaining. And unless we see some kind of response immediately, this game is going to be over pretty quickly. Tortuga could break the wall. I don't know if there's enough. I don't even know if there's enough item cards in Evan's discard pile to do that. I don't know if the fossil can be targeted down when it is on the bench. That's a possibility. Let me check that. Nope, it's just effects of attacks. So, I mean, oof. But a Gust card, a Timely Guzma, is going to stick this Kirlia into the active. And now Evan has all these energies committed. Now we are going to be in a little bit of a predicament if we cannot move this Kirlia coming soon. U-turn board is prized. So that is notable for Evan off of this town map. Oh, we've got Gallade. No biggie. Gallade's going to search out Guzma. And again, Guzma is just going to get this Deoxys right back up into the active. And let it start taking the prizes that it wants to take again. Incredible. Let me see if I can't do a little on-the-fly work, chat. Bear with me. Bear with me here, chat. Let me do a little bit of cool work here. See if we can make this to where we have all these new cards able to be pulled up. Because currently, you guys cannot see them, and that's drag. Okay, there we go. That'll work, presumably. So here's this Deoxys that I've been talking about, chat, at length. With its Psy Spear attack. If it has 2 additional energies attached to it, it is able to swing 120 damage to the bench as well as the active. And so I think we're seeing a possible concession here from Kyle. Yeah, I don't think that he had anything more to mount from that board state, as Deoxys was just able to clean up on the back of that Buddy Catch Gallade that was able to allow Evan to move out. So, congratulations to Evan for a quick Game 2 victory. Let's go over to Ghoulies and his opponent on table 1. Ghoulies and Gens here. Let's see if we can give you guys a better showing from the Kyogre deck. And then we've got Gens over here. And Gens is on fighting. All right, cool. We got our players set up there. Prize cards, Gens is on 5. Let's see what Ghoulies is on 6 currently. Zoom Ghoulies board out just a little bit so you guys can see just a little bit better. Alright, here we go. So now Ghouls is able to take his first prize card. Both of our players are on 5. Still have plenty of time left in the round. So Jens is playing Hitmons here. It's interesting as well. We do see this Swampert just swinging in again from Ghoul's side. Alright. Let's see what Jens can do here. We are going to see a Karina played, so we'll be able to possibly continue on the combo. I don't know exactly what stages of the combo we're in. I do see 30 damage on one Pokemon, 60 on another, so I'm not sure exactly what Jens has been able to accomplish here yet. Silent Lab in play from Ghouls is really big in the fighting matchup, though. Just going to limit their draw power with the rocks. We know how strong the rocks engine is for fighting. So being able to turn that off at any point is super strong. Let's see. What's that? I believe that is the Hippopotas. Yep, it is. I believe. Or is it? I think it's actually the Meta-type chat. So Jens also has the Metacham, the double attack Metacham in his list. So he can double blindside, double shenanigans as well. We'll see what Ghoul's response to this strafe or hit and run is. We do know that the Swampert is providing consistent draw and the ability to swing for Ghouls currently, so he's in no hurry to, give up the attacking prowess. Guzman's just going to cut this attack off at the pass. So the way that the Hitmon combo works is that one Hitmon combos into the next. Hitmonchan combos into Hitmonlee. And if you take out Hitmonlee before it's able to swing, then, well, just set your opponent back one more turn from possibly being able to execute the combo. So we'll see if that pans out for Ghouls here. We do see that there's not much support established on Jin's side either, currently. So I'll be interested to see now if... I don't see any energy attached to this Inteleon, so I don't think it's going to be swinging. You'll have to retreat back out into something else to attack. That Kyogre's pretty scary sitting over there on Ghouls' bench as well. I don't know how deep into the deck we are either, but depending on how close we're coming to the bottom, that Kyogre's about to start doing some massive taking some massive KOs. We are just going to see Swampert come up here and pop the Hitmonlee to cut the combo off early. So we'll see if that is enough to stifle it. Jens was able to keep the energy on the Hitmonchan, but definitely did not want to see his Hitmonlee go down preemptively there. We do have Arven, so as long as we have access to a stretcher, we're going to see Blindside come out. Could even have the triple energy to be able to swing this turn with the Blindside. Now, Stretcher's just going to be able to recycle the Hitmonchan here. Or, I'm sorry, the Hitmonlee. Too many Hitmons. Only one that's easy to remember is Hitmontop, huh? Spin that guy around on his head. Let him do circles. Got the punchy guy and the kicky guy. That's what I know. My Gen 1 love. Oh, yeah. So we've got both energy retrieval and night stretcher to be able to get the Hitmonlee on board here. Did I miss something there? Did he... Wait a sec. What did Jens just do? Took a knockout with the 90. The energy attached to... This energy attached to Hitmonchan... That needs to go, no? There's no extra energy acceleration. Like, I could see retreating it and then playing the retrieval for it, but there's an extra energy on this Hitmonchan. It does not have free retreat. And the attachment that turn had to go to Hitmonlee. Let me hop in here and check with the guys real quick. Hey Jens, should that energy be on the Hitmon? How did you get it back out of the active? Yeah. Okay, all good. Yep. Cool. I knew I wasn't going crazy, chat. Whew, that's a rough Pokestop for Ghouls. He literally just milled recycle energy. He just milled some really good resources there. Rough. Alright, an Ultra Ball is going to discard another couple of energies, which the name of the game here is to get energy in the discard pile so that you can use cards like Energy Recycler and Brock's Grit to put them back at the key time to be able to swing with Kyogre. And we're getting dangerously close to Kyogre range here. We see all three energies powered up on it currently. It's about to go down. Yeah, Evan, we could see a Slowking versus Kyogre match in round 3. Nothing would excite me more. I know Ghouls was looking to dodge Deoxys tonight, but he may not have that opportunity. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. Thank you and Spence both for stopping by and hanging out during the in-between rounds here. Glad to hear that you guys are doing well tonight as well in the tournament. Oh, it's Kyogre time, baby. Here we go. Energy Recycler is going to put 5 energies back into this deck. I don't know how thin it is, but Kyogre is going to discard the top 5 cards. Let me get this baby pulled up. It's time for Kyogre to shine. Ghouls and I have been working pretty hard on this deck, so I'm very excited to see this attack play out. Hopefully he hits a bunch. But we are going to see the top 5 cards discarded, 2 of the bench Pokemon selected, and 50 damage for each energy card. 1, 2. So it'll be 100 damage sniped to 2 Pokemon. So you can take the Medicham. That's an easy one. Yep. And then now you also get a second. All these Pokemon are small guys, so Kyogre just needs to hit 2 to be able to take a clean double prize there for Ghouls. Sick. And now this Kyogre has no damage on it. It's going to have to be responded to right now. And if it is not, then, well, we're just going to see that exact sequence play out again. Tag call is going to be able to get Guzma Hala and Cynthia and Caitlin out for gens, but at this point it may be too little too late. And one thing I would like to note, gens, if you watch this back, is one of the things that you could have done last turn is you could have went ahead and retreated into your Hitmonchan before playing the energy retrieval, and then you would have had both of those energies back in hand. By retreating after you played the energy retrieval, you only got the one energy off the retrieval. So just a little sequencing thing that may help out. Pokestop mills 3 cards for gens there as well, unfortunately, as none of those cards are item cards able to help him out in this situation. And unfortunately, this is just another scenario where Ghouls has cut off the forthcoming attack. Gens had the Hitmon top down already, and Ghouls just snuffed it out like a torch. We do have a Raihan play, but we've already burned a lot of recovery. This is just going to be another hit and run, unfortunately. And try and set the combo back up. And I do agree with Spence's take on the deck and like his approach to talking with gens about it is like, you could probably just get a lot of this done a lot easier by just Ting Luing a couple of times. And that's why Metachamp saw so much success over the last couple of weeks, was just off the back of easy Ting Lu damage. So, I definitely agree with that take. That was just board devastation too, because we know Jens also had the blindside in hand, and in seeing the tag call, he also had access to the triple energy, so this turn was going to be pretty nasty had the Kyogre not went off the last turn. Something to note. Games in Gym Leader Challenge on the back of these 2 prize Pokemon can just swing in an instant, because you go from having a plan to all of a sudden you have no board. And there's not much in the way of agency that you have in stopping it. You can play with smaller benches. You can try to be cognizant of attacks that are coming your way, but at the end of the day, then you just get ran off the board. Gym Leader Challenge is so flexible in all of these aggro decks that do have multiple prize takes that if you don't set up, they'll just shove a big basic in your face and start swinging, or in Ghouls' case, just shove an Inteleon in your face at Swampert and start taking prizes. Countercatcher is going to be a tad bit annoying here. Gens can even take another prize if they wish, but I don't think that's the angle that we're looking at here. It's just going to be a swing in and strafe out into the Hitmon Lee for the next turn. So can Ghouls move? We've seen Guzma be exhausted. I do believe from Ghouls' side, so if he has access to Melodic, then should just be able to get right back in there. Kyogre has a second attack that does 120 for 4. Surf. So I don't know if that's the angle that he would be looking at here, but we do see the attachment committed there. Of course, Ghouls has Ice Dance ability in play right now, so all of those bench energies are free attachments. They do not cost your attachment for turn. Ghouls wants to check to see if something is in Jen's list. This is the thing about the open deck list format that we play in. And Swampert has been drugged back into the active now. Be a little bit tougher for Ghouls to move. We are going to see the Melodic come down here. So any card out of Ghoul's discard pile can come back to his hand. I don't know if we have a Guzma down currently. But if so, I can imagine that there would be no other card that you want. Yeah. So it is going to be Guzma selected off of the Melodic. And Guzma's going to move both of these players. Now the cool thing about this is if Ghoul swings with... You're probably just so far ahead that you don't need to be milling yourself. But if you could take the Hitmonchan off the bench, then that's, you know, even better. Though notably, I mean, the thing is, again, you're so far ahead. Hitmonchan's not going to take multiple knockouts, and it's not going to knock out your Kyogre. So you're pretty safe to just come up here and even swing into the active for 120. And I think that's what we're going to see Ghouls elect to do. I don't know what gens could pop that would threaten this next turn. Raihan's down. There's no damage on it currently. And gens does have Tinglu in the list. So that's an interesting thing to note. Didn't see that when I first glanced at it. But yeah, no reason to mill yourself. Just take what's in front of you. Take the KO. And there should be no answer or response here from gens, I wouldn't imagine. That can deal with a fully healthy Kyogre. Yep. We'll just see a counter energy and yep, he's just going to go ahead and swing, take a knockout, but it is simply just a draw for turn and announce attack. And that will be a strong second game win from the Kyogre deck. Able to see it do its actual game plan that time. We weren't like limited to the oddity that was the Spins and Ghouls experiment in first round. But that is a cool way to show off the strategy. Unfortunately, gens was not able to get set up there. It didn't look like before Kyogre started taking multi-prize turns. And that's just the way that Gym Leader Challenge is right now when it comes to multi-prize taking Pokemon running the format. So let's take a look at our pairings. Come back here for you guys. And while I have just a second, what I think I'm going to do, guys, is this. All right. Cool. All right, chat. I'm going to throw this right here. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, and just like the screen says, I will be right back. It's just me tonight, so bear with me. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, and we'll get back in with the next round's games. Currently, we do see that both Ghouls and Evan able to break to 2-0, so we probably will be seeing those guys next round. I would imagine. Unless David possibly could beat Alb, and then we're looking at a kind of an up pair, down pair situation. But 6.5 minutes left. I will be right back, guys. I'll see you guys in just a few seconds. All right. We are back. Looks like the round timer just ended for our players. And it looks like David did take a loss, actually, to Albatross. So, not sure exactly if that'll mean that someone gets a down pair, but it is possible. Let's see. So it looks like I can take this off now. Alright, new round is up. Alright, and we are going to get Evan and Ghouls paired into each other. Possible that the tournament will end after this round, but not exactly sure how it'll shake with the number of players that we had. But nonetheless, we will see Ghoulies and Evan in our round 3 pairing. And let's get everybody set up here for this round 3 matchup. Most of our players are 2-0. And both of our players on 2 totally new decks, new archetypes. So, really cool to see. Very happy for our guys that the decks that they decided to play tonight were the correct choice for the new meta. Alright, so we will get into this game, round 3 now. And we'll see who is kicking us off for this awesome action. It's going to be smooch 'em start for Evan. He is going first, though. So maybe slowed down just a touch, but a Fog Crystal is going to be the perfect card that you want to see. We're going to try to threaten this Deoxys immediately. This has become the predominant way to play the Deoxys archetype after our good friend Andrew Mahone showed it off on stream against Chucky. The first time that they played the little conquest for new Chaos Rising cards. The Smooch 'em with its Delightful Kiss attack just turbos 2 Psychic Energies into play onto one of your bench Pokemon. Pairs perfectly with Deoxys. Pairs perfectly with Gardevoir that doubles the energy cards. And this is going to be an explosive turn 1 from Evan off the back of this Telepath Energy and Fog Crystal alone. That 2-card combo is enough to get you into any game as the Psychic player. I'm going to pull Telepath up as well, as it is literally one of the most broken cards that Psychic did not need to have access to, but got anyway. Team over there at Creatures loves the purple type, so they love to give it extraordinary tools to succeed always. And so Telepath here is going to be able to search out any 2 basic psychic Pokemon that Evan wants and put them directly onto his bench. It's going to be an EK and a Slowpoke. So no Ralts, no Natu. That is very interesting for the choices of Pokemon off of the Telepath. There are a lot of Pokemon in these psychic decks, so prizing a line is not uncommon. It just makes the game plan a little bit less, would call linear, right? It makes your game plan a little bit less straightforward, is what I would say. We'll see if he does have any other basics to lay down from his hand. That's also a potential that you don't search out one because you're holding on to one of them. But it looks like no, just a pass from there. So the Deoxys threat is a lot less looming when you don't see a piece of the Gardevoir on the board. We are going to see a Brooklet from Ghoul's side and an attachment of the Recycle Energy. So Ghouls will be able to get into his any Pokemon that he wants this turn to be able to initiate this first attack. I would imagine it's going to be the Hisuian Basculin as long as it's not prized. Basculin is the premier basic search Pokemon for water. So as long as the Basculin isn't prized, then you're probably going and getting that guy. And right there is the little Joker as I speak. I've been by myself tonight, but I feel like I've gotten about 90% of my calls right. So we're definitely in a good spot to see what our players are thinking, I think. So we are going to see the Bass come down, and then Ghouls is going to look to establish his board, probably something along the lines of a Mudkip and maybe a Snom. It just kind of depends on what he's looking to establish board state-wise. Could also be an angle where he goes and gets another one of the basics, like the Phoebus, but I think it's probably going to be Snom. Yeah, there we go. So Mudkip, Snom, get the draw engine online, start trying to turbo through the deck. That's the name of the game. Try to get there fast. And thanks to everyone who has stopped by and has been hanging out with me tonight. I know it's been a pretty slow evening in terms of both our players and our view count. We haven't done a stream in a couple of weeks, so that's to be expected. Didn't really decide that we were going to do it until a little bit later either. And like I said, I know a lot of people are out in Akron prepping for the weekend and seeing friends and whatnot. So big shout out to anyone who watches this after the fact. Thank you guys for stopping by and spending any time with us, even if it's just a watch, stop in and watch finals. We're going to see the Slowking be evolved into off the Marnie, and then Artisan come into play for Evan, bumping the Brooklet. And like I had mentioned earlier, chat, if you are just stopping by from, after the fact, we did enable memberships and supers on the channel this week. So if you do want to show any support, those options are now available. You can get some extra content through one of our couple of membership tiers, some extra goodies from the Blazer Squad, and then if you just want a one-time support, then the button's there for super chats now. So shoot me a message and send the team a little love. We would appreciate it. And I will definitely shout out all of the support that we get individually, just like we do as always. So Smoochum is going to go ahead and throw the energy onto Deoxys. The board is starting to become way more threatening. And now the fear is just have to be careful of what Ghouls is setting up over here, because Ghouls also has a developing board. Notably, Ghouls is only playing one hand disruption card, I think is what he told us earlier, right before stream. We've got just a stamp in here. Yep. So there'll be no way to reset Evan's hand once he gets a draw engine on board, but no Curly and no Xatu is a little bit suspicious. Oh, goodness, but it's just an attached pass from Ghouls. Not exactly what you want to see. One energy onto the Wishy-Washy, which, if you're going to respond to a Deoxys, you're going to need something that can swing that magic number, you know, 120 at the very least. But Wishy-Washy will hit it for 130 damage if it gets to attack into Deoxys. And Evan's still quite a ways away without having access to trade ability. Like I said, he would need to see his way into a Malamar attach patch because no clairvoyant sense, he would just have to see his way into either patch attach or Malamar attach. He needs 5 energy on this Deoxys in order to do the combined damage. And neither player is on a bench barrier either. So this will be the war of 2 prize swings if both players have their way. And we are going to see treasure there, so that does get us Malamar. Do we have an energy in the discard pile already? And do we have one in the hand? Of course, Evan could come up and just swing with the Deoxys for its 120 base damage as well. If he thinks that Ghouls is a turn behind being able to swing with the Wishy-Washy. But nope. We're going to see 2 energies come out off of the Smoochum, and Evan just having to play a little bit more passively. Now, if Ghouls could get into a... So here we go. This is his Evo Incense play. We're going to see Drizzile. Do we see Frostmoth, 2 energies, and a way to gust down the Deoxys? Because that would be devastation here. We need to see like the Guzma. You'd have to already essentially have a piece of this. There's no energy search in this deck at all. So there's no way to tutor out energies either. You have to just see it. See those cards. We're just going to go lilies fishing here to be able to churn through the deck. And essentially, this is fine for Ghouls. I don't know how small the hand is currently, but seeing 8 essentially sees you plus however many cards into the deck, gets you that much closer to Kyogering later. We'll get the second attachment. We'll get the lilies. Yes, and that was the last card in hand, so this is exquisite. So now you could see Ghouls hit the water energy required. You could see him hit the Frostmoth. You could see him hit a retreat for this Basculin. Then you'd just be swinging, which I don't think that's what you want, to be honest, in this situation. both these players are in a weird dance where, I mean, if Evan decides to take on the Wishy-Washy with his 120, then it would leave something on Ghouls' side alive. I mean, you can't KO every Pokemon. But Wishy-Washy could be having to flip for whether or not it stays on the board. I don't think that's the correct target, but it is just something to note in interaction with the Wishy-Washy. So we do see Level Ball come out for the Frostmoth. We did find our way into that piece. Now do we see one extra energy? Like I said, it's kind of weird. This is a very odd spot. But I don't think that Ghouls would hate to start taking early prizes if he could. I just don't know that it's what he wants to do. And yeah, see, like, this is the thing. He's like debating this heavily, weighing this out heavily. It's like, if you're Evan here, you should pretty freely just push this Mew up, I would think. You can't give up anything else. Everything else is too valuable. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. And then for Evan, or for Ghouls, you're just going to see him come up into the Wishy-Washy and start attacking in with Hydro Splash for 130 damage. It'd be even cooler if you could pair this with something like the Manaphy. Like, if you had the Manaphy here, this would be a perfect spot, because you would force your opponent to turn off bench barrier and able to hit your bench, but it would also turn off Wishy-Washy Scatter, which would take it out of range of, you know, it would take it off the board from having to even flip, and then you would just respond to Deoxys very easily. So just an interesting thought for all you water players out there who are playing Wishy-Washy. And see an overcommitment of water energies to the Wishy-Washy too. It's a little weird. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just seeing that first one doubled, chat, from the sheen off of that Ghoul's flashy water energy. Yeah, so now if you're Evan, you have it on board. I mean, you have the Deoxys turn here if you want it, but again, now you're in a spot where if you come up and swing into this Wishy-Washy, Parallel City is a great piece to see here. Just forcing Ghouls to limit his bench to 3. Obviously, Ghouls is going to bump the Basculin. That's an easy decision, but it makes it a little bit more difficult for Ghouls to establish a board going down the stretch, knowing that the Brooklet's already out of play. And Evan is going to go ahead and play his Town map, revealing that, yep, both the Ralts and the Natu were prized. It wasn't even the evolution lines. It was literally the basics, along with Rare Candy. Here comes the Parallel City down, and immediately the Baskin gets thrown to the wayside. Ooh, and a Lux Cape from Evan. Now that is a tool that is going to require Ghouls to have another piece now. Now you're going to have that Field Blower in order to get through this Deoxys. And from what I know about Ghouls, and I am correct, There is no field blower in the list. Uh-oh. This is about to get really sketchy real quick. He doesn't, Lee. You're 100% right, brother. I immediately went shuffling looking at the list. I was like, uh-oh. I bet this man ain't playing field blower. Headset untangled chat. Give me 1 second. And random receiver there, guaranteed to see a dig card for Ghouls, as that is basically all the deck plays. And for Ghouls, that is the name of the game right now, is to try and get to the bottom of his deck as quickly as possible, because at the very least, you're two-hitting this Deoxys, which, to be fair, the Deoxys is going to give up 2 prizes when you knock it out now. But Evan's going to take multiple very key KOs off the back of just this thing living the first hit. So we've already seen him take the Saba line out. Next will probably be the draw engine. Could be the accelerator, but all depends on Ghoul's cards in hand, composition. We know that Evan freed the Ralts from his prize cards with that take. And this was the matchup that Ghouls was hoping to dodge tonight. Was anything with Deoxys. I told him, brother, that's a pretty low likelihood given the nature of the purple cards. And Ghouls really weighed out what to play there. I think that he is trying to figure out if he needs to go into his Swampert now. May see a rare candy Swampert play. But the board is just so weak. Board state is so weak right now. And it's about to get even weaker. So we see Aqua Patch and Phoebus. Now, Phoebus does have built-in bench barrier. So Evan would need a lab or hex in order to enable sniping the Phoebus. Let's see what Evan decided to play for his bench barrier technology. We've got... Yeah, that's right, Lee. Like, you are about to lose this moth. For sure. Evan is only on the lab to be able to turn off any bench barrier. But yeah, I don't think that would be the best target either. And this is still very much anyone's game because of the Lux Cape on the Deoxys. If Ghouls can respond to it, then he's able to take 2 prizes and kind of equalize this game. Lee just said curtains. I don't know if Evan drew into something or if it's literally just off the back of what the board state that we're staring at here. But it's getting pretty out of hand pretty quickly. Evan will knock out both this attacker, more than likely the Frostmoth. Now Ghouls did grab Patch, so that's something to be aware of, and he does play a counter energy. So there's a world where yeah, I mean the deck plays both reversal and the deck does play counter energy, Lee, and we know he just took the Patch off of the Irida. So counter Patch possibly. Alright, so Frostmoth down. Evan taking 2 on that swing with the Deoxys. Let me get my boy on the screen. He deserves some time in the sun. There he is. Deoxys coming in, mopping prize cards tonight. Ghouls. What is the response here? We know he has Hapu in hand as a supporter for turn, but past that, I'm pretty unsure as to what's going on there. I do keep the cameras just slightly out of reach, so I can't read the hands for the players. But it is just going to be a Hapu. I wonder if there's a specific piece that he's looking to see off of these 6. Or if it's just that he thinks that he needs to dig further. And Hapu and Explorer's Guidance are 2 of the interesting cards in Gym Leader Challenge that both read the same in terms of their effect, but they're named differently. So you can play them both in the same deck. And here we go. We do see the Rescue Stretcher hit, counter energy in hand, patches in hand as well. So this is a reoccurred fish. Ghoul's just showing us even more of the reason why he is the player that he is. Figuring out these odd lines when it looks like your back is against the complete wall. So he will take this knockout and he will take 2 prizes off of the Deoxys. Like I said, I think it was still very much anyone's game at that point, and still do. Yeah, we are in a spot here. Slowking down, energy onto it. Oh, what what do we got going on here? Switching cups. Whoa, okay. So you're about to see Slowking attack, chat. Yep, here we go. Energy Doubler Gardevoir. Slowking has got everything in place, lined up. This Slowking is about to copycat Deoxys, essentially. This is crazy. Here we go. So Slowking is going to reveal the top card. It is a Pokemon. And then, boom, Deoxys, or Slowking gets to attack using Deoxys' attack. What an awesome play there by Evan. Just had it all in hand, had it all ready to go. Excellent work. So did Ghouls flip heads, Lee? Did we miss the flip? Oh yeah, there it is. It's right there. I see it. The Ghouls did flip heads on that. Now, let's get... Goodness. I'm having to get all these cards on screen right now. We've got the Slowking to play on. Hey, Z-Man. What's up, boss? Hope that you're having a good night. Welcome in to what presumably is the final round of the tourney tonight. We got a couple of 3-0s. Not exactly sure if we'll go another one or not, but we just saw an epic play where we saw Evan use the Slowking to copy Deoxys' attack with the Energy Doubler Gardevoir in play. But now Ghouls does have a knockout on this Slowking, as it is just 120 HP. We're pretty close to a realm now, though, where we can just reoccur Deoxys if Ghouls can't deal with the Gardevoir. It's all kind of hinging there at the moment. We do see a ball guy from Ghouls. We don't have much of a board. This is tough. I think if you're Ghouls here and you could target down the Gardevoir, it would be your best bet, but doesn't look like we have access to that. Just a ball guy for turn. We're going to get Nest Ball, the Dive Ball, and still probably have access to Ultra as well. Yeah. Ghouls has not used a whole lot of search this game, as we can see by the board state currently. He needs to find recovery too. Thankfully, Brock's Grit can get those Pokemon back into the deck, but I don't know if you... had, you're going to have to wait a turn to do that. Maybe that's why we see him hold some of the other balls, the other ball search in hand. Could be eyeing up a turn next turn where he recovers some of the Pokemon. He may just have been in a position there where he was thinking, I cannot afford to not get another basic Pokemon out onto the board this turn. In which case, you can't play the Brock's Grit and play the ball guy, so... Yeah, TV, we are Slowking Gaming. Rewinded about 5 minutes and you'll see Evan's attack with the Slowking. It was pretty freaking sick. So Ghouls does equalize there. Able to go to 2 apiece. And we will see now if Evan can pull off. Yeah. The last Slowking attack was the copying of Deoxys. Yeah, Lee. I can see it. I see the line. So Lee's saying, oh, how about I just recur Deoxys with the patch, with the Malamar. And it happens so fast, guys. Like, it happens so quickly with the Energy Doubler Gardevoir. Once all the pieces come down into play, you just take multiple prizes and are able to deal incredible amounts of damage. I mean, 240 damage across 2 Pokemon in Gym Leader Challenge is just insane. We all know it. We all know it. All of us that play this beloved format. So with that, let's see where we are sitting. So Evan will go to 3-0. I think that will wrap us up. At the very least, it's going to wrap up the stream for the night. If we do go ahead and concede into that 4th round, then we will be... you guys can check out any further results on our channel. Thanks to everyone who stopped by tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on this awesome Friday leading into the Gym Leader Challenge 3K, Chaos Rising 3K this weekend at Full Grip Games. Congratulations. I keep saying congratulations. Good luck to all of you players who will be in attendance there at Full Grip. Good luck to you, Lee, and SBO, and also any of the members from our community who are traveling out to the event. Good luck to you guys. Hope that you guys perform well. Big shout out to our partners over at Collectors Connection. Thanks for Collectors Connection Duluth for all that you guys do. Thanks, Z-Man, for coming by. Thank you, TV Boy, for hanging out. I'll see you guys later for sure. But big thanks to Collectors Connection. You can check out their website at collectorsconnectionduluth.com for all of your trading card needs. From the Turboblaze guys, have a great rest of your Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you guys next week, hopefully with an interview from one of our guys. So we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you, guys.